To boost or not to boost? That is the question facing countries fortunate enough to have vaccinated much of their adult population. Vaccination produces an initial surge in the number of immune cells churning out antibodies and other molecules, which then slowly drops. This leaves behind a small pool of long-lasting memory B and T cells that patrol the body for future infections by that pathogen. A booster does several things to these cells, says Ali Elabedi, a B-cell immunologist at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. It causes antibody-making B cells to multiply, elevating the levels of antibodies against the pathogen once more. Their numbers will dwindle again, but the pool of memory B cells left behind will be larger than before, leading to a faster, stronger response to subsequent exposures. Boosters also promote a process called affinity maturation, in which engaged B cells, those that have been triggered by the vaccine, travel to the lymph nodes. Here, they gain mutations, making the antibodies they produce bind to pathogens more strongly, potentially enhancing their potency. Numbers of memory B cells and antibody levels will eventually plateau with repeated boosting or reinfection, but it is unlikely that such levels have been reached in people who have had the recommended regimen of COVID-19 vaccine or a previous infection, says L. A booster shot should elicit stronger immune responses, says Rafi Ahmed, an immunologist at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. It will boost. The few trials to have tested extra doses support this. Third doses of vaccines developed by Moderna, Pfizer-BioNTech, Oxford AstraZeneca and Sinovac prompted a spike in levels of the second dose. An ongoing UK trial will test various combinations of boosters, including using a different vaccine from the original inoculations. Preliminary studies of these mix and match strategies suggest that they could lead to more robust immune responses. These trials also suggest that common vaccine-related side effects, such as headache and fever, aren't very different from those seen with earlier immunizations. Scientists typically look at antibody levels, or titers, as a proxy for how well a vaccine has worked. These usually spike along with the surge in short-lived B cells and then fall as the cells dwindle. Memory B cells and bone marrow plasma cells continue to churn out antibodies, but at reduced levels, for decades. Early indications suggest that antibody levels triggered by most COVID-19 vaccines are falling, too. What scientists don't know is whether these drops reflect a decline in protection against the virus. Teams around the world are racing to determine what level of neutralizing antibodies or another immune marker is most closely associated with a vaccine's effectiveness. They're seeking what's known as a correlative protection. Are vaccinations given months ago still preventing infections? In the absence of a reliable correlative protection, researchers are looking for signs of waning immunity in real-world data from countries that have advanced vaccination programs. Are people who were vaccinated early on getting infected at higher rates than those who were vaccinated more recently? Drawing clear conclusions from such data is fraught, says Devere Aaron, a biomedical data scientist at Technion, Israel Institute of Technology in Haifa. Last month, the Ministry of Health in Israel, a country that has one of the world's highest vaccination rates, released raw data on vaccinations and infections from December 2020 to July 2021. The ministry estimated that vaccine protection against both infection and disease had dropped from above 90% in the early months of its program to around 40% by late June, a decline that could be due to the effects of the Delta variant. What else could change the calculation on boosters? Countries that have relied heavily on inactivated virus vaccines, which seem to be less effective at preventing symptomatic infections than viral vector and messenger RNA vaccines, have been among the first to deploy boosters. The United Arab Emirates is giving people who received Sinopharm's inactivated virus vaccine a booster with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, and China plans to use domestically produced mRNA and protein-based vaccines as boosters for its inactivated virus vaccine. What it will take to vaccinate the world against COVID-19. There is anecdotal evidence of large outbreaks in some countries that deployed both inactivated virus vaccines and other vaccine types, such as the Seychelles and Chile. But Subarow says it's not yet clear whether such breakthrough infections are more likely in people who received the inactivated virus vaccines than in those given other vaccines, or whether they lead to more severe disease. Despite the lack of evidence in favor of offering boosters now, Aaron expects policymakers to err on the side of caution and begin offering boosters to at-risk groups in the coming weeks. After initially spurning the idea of third doses for most people, the US government is now considering them, according to news reports. And on the 29th of July, Israel announced plans to give people aged over 60 a third dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. The United Kingdom has drawn up tentative plans to offer vaccines to those over 50, as well as other high-risk groups, from September. A video about vaccination against COVID-19, a long video. Are you happy about these information? These information are taken from nature.com website. If you like to read full article, visit www.nature.com website. If you like this video, like this video and share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel About to Science.